In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw a landscape featuring a path or road. My inspiration for this has come from the work of David Hockney, as Hockney often features a path or road in many of his landscape paintings to create a feeling of depth and perspective. As you can see, the road is wider at the front in the foreground and gets narrower as it recedes into the background. Here is the image I've chosen to draw from. This is just a photograph taken in my local park, and as you can see, it features a path. I'm going to start by drawing my horizon line where the ground would meet the sky. In this one, it's at a little bit of a sloping angle. And now I'm sketching out the main shapes of my landscape, including the path. I'm doing a little sketch for where that bush would be, and now I'm sketching in the shape of the bridge. If you have any man-made structures in your photograph, such as a building, a fence, a bridge, a wall, make sure that these are drawn in perspective. When I'm doing this little fence or railing that runs along the side of my path, you can see that the posts are getting smaller and closer together as they go further into the distance. Use a ruler or something with a straight edge to help you when you're drawing any of these man-made structures. As you can see here, I'm using my ruler to help me put in that lamppost. As the little fence posts come forward, you can see that they become taller, a little bit thicker and more spaced out. This will help create that feeling of perspective. You may also have a fence, wall or hedge in your landscape. That will help you to create that feeling of perspective along the side of your path or road. Now that I'm happy with all of the basic shapes in my landscape, I'm going to start adding in a bit more detail. As you can see, as well as the man-made structures, I've also got a lot of natural structures as well, such as trees and bushes, so I'm going to start putting those in now. The trees which are in the foreground are going to be larger, like the one that I'm drawing now, and then they're going to become smaller as they get further away. This applies to whatever objects you have in the foreground of your landscape. You might not have any trees, perhaps it's cars you have in your landscape, lampposts, a bench, whatever it is you can see in the landscape picture that you've chosen to draw. Now I'm starting to draw in these branches which come in from the top of my composition, and I'm making these a bit larger because these are actually closer up in the foreground. I'm building up the textures of some of the different plants I can see in my landscape, such as this long grass, through repetition of line or repetition of shape. Perhaps if you are drawing leaves, you might do a repeated shape to build up that texture. Look out for any pattern you might have in your landscape, such as a fence, brick wall, tiled roof. Here you can see I've got a sort of stripy pattern on my bridge to show where the little fence is. I'm just going to continue adding as much detail as possible to my landscape. As you can see, I've got some kind of half melted snow in the foreground, so I'm just drawing that in. And there's my finished landscape drawing featuring a path or road.